Hello, and welcome to this week's Culture Conversations. I'm Danielle Peters, and as always, I'm sharing reflections from the real conversations I've had with early learning leaders this week. What I'm noticing, what they're experiencing, and what it might mean for you and your team. And this week I had conversations with two very different types of leaders. And it really highlighted something important. On one side, I spoke with a leadership team who were just coming out of what they described as one of the most difficult few months of their career. Short-staffed, people calling in sick, wearing multiple roles every single day, trying to keep children safe while also holding their team together. And they told me there were days when they would walk in, look at each other from across the room, and just know it was going to be another hard one. And what really stood out to me was this. They weren't building culture during that time. They were surviving. And I want to say this because I know so many of you leaders will be able to relate to this. When you are in survival mode, culture becomes reactive. You're just trying to get through the day. You're putting out fires. You support whoever is in front of you at the time. And that's exactly where they were. But here's the shift. They've come through the storm, and now they've got space to breathe once again. And instead of staying in recovery mode, they've made a decision. Now is the time to build. Now is the time to put something in place so they never have to feel like that again. And that's a very different type of leadership, because in the same week, I also spoke with leaders who are at the beginning of their HTC journey with us. One group launching across multiple services, wanting to create consistency. They spoke about frustration of different behaviors across rooms, gossip, resistance to change, and the feeling of it depends really who's on shift as to what kind of day we're going to have. And they said very clearly, we don't want culture to depend on the day. We want it to be consistent. And another new client who has had recent staff leave, low morale, pressure on the team, challenges with recruitment, instead of just trying to replace staff, they said something that I loved. They don't just want new people to fill the space. They want a culture that people actually stay for. And this is where it all connects. Because whether you are coming out of survival or starting fresh, the goal is the same: to build a culture that is visible, consistent, and actually lived every single day. But then on the other side of the spectrum, I had a conversation with a leader who is dealing with very similar challenges. The team has shared concerns, the issues are known, the opportunity is there, but right now, they are too overwhelmed to do anything about it. And this is the part that I think we don't talk about enough, because it's not that they don't care. It's not that they don't want things to improve. Of course they do. It's that they are in it every single day with competing priorities, compliance, staffing, everything coming at them all at once. And so the decision becomes, we'll deal with that later. But here's the truth. Doing nothing isn't neutral. Culture doesn't stay the same. It either improves or it erodes slowly, quietly, in the behaviors that are tolerated, in the conversations that aren't had, the standards that slip over time, and before you know it, you're back in that place of burnout, frustration, high turnover, feeling like you're carrying it all on your own. I call that the culture backpack. So this week really highlighted 3 types of leaders. The ones who have been in survival mode and are now ready to rebuild. The ones who are stepping up and proactively creating the culture they want and the children in their care deserve. And the ones who are stuck, knowing something needs to change, but not having the space or structure or possibly the support to do it yet. And the difference between staying stuck and actually moving forward isn't more time. It's a decision to stop reacting to culture and start leading it. So if you're listening to this and you can see yourself in any of these situations, just know this: you don't need to do everything at once, but you do need a plan. Because when you have a clear, simple structure, that's when culture becomes something you can actually build, not something you're constantly trying to fix. And if you're ready to move out of survival mode, bye-bye, and start building a culture your team can feel and love and protect, reach out. I'd love to support you in your culture journey. Keep blooming.